Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Carnivore Connection. I'm Megan Lee Walls, and I am the owner and founder of Raw Vibes Pet Food LLC. Today, we're going to be talking about pumpkin and why your carnivore companion actually doesn't need it. So, obviously, we are approaching the fall, and pumpkin spice is everywhere. We know that pumpkin is a great source of vitamins such as A, C, E, potassium, and beta carotene, and it's known to support eye health, immunity, skin, and reducing inflammation. It's also become quite popular with our carnivore companions' food and treats as a digestive aid, and it also boosts such benefits as fiber and lots of antioxidants. So this all sounds great, but what's the problem? Well, it's not very species appropriate. It's very low in fiber. It can contribute to weight issues, and it contains a slew of anti-nutrients. So let's break down each of these categories. You'll probably get really sick of me saying this, but pumpkin is not species appropriate. Cats and dogs are naturally carnivores, and their anatomy and physiology are designed to process meat, not plant matter. They don't even have the enzymes needed to really effectively break down carbohydrates such as amylase. And because their digestive system is so short, it's more optimized for absorbing nutrients from meats versus breaking down the plant matter. So meat goes through the digestive tract a lot faster. And you'll notice this because when the digestive system is not working as appropriately, you'll notice the stool to be very large, more odorous, and very, very stinky. It's also really poor with fiber regulation. So we've seen a lot that pumpkin is said to be high in fiber, but it's really not. It's made up of about 90% water and 3% fiber. It lacks significant soluble and insoluble fiber for actually managing diarrhea or constipation. So when we're looking at soluble fiber, this is fiber that dissolves in water, forming a gel-like substance in the digestive tract. But even though pumpkin is 20 to 30% soluble fiber, it actually is only about 0.6 to 0.9% in pumpkin. Now, when we also look at the insoluble fiber, we're looking about 70 to 80%, but this only makes up about 2% of pumpkin. So it's actually really low. Now, we want fiber to be involved. It's very good for the heart health, regulating blood sugar, and overall gut health. But pumpkin really isn't a very good source of it. Pumpkin also can contribute to weight issues as well. It's high in carbohydrates, and so excessive amounts really can disrupt the protein-fat balance needed for carnivores. We obviously all love our pets, but sometimes we tend to show our love through food. You know, every time they do something cute or every time they do a trick or go potty, we're giving them food. And on top of the calories that they get from their food normally, we can contribute to overfeeding and this weight gain in our companions. So we want to be very, very aware of that. Now, pumpkin also contains anti-nutrients. Anti-nutrients are naturally occurring compounds found in many plant-based foods, but they can interact and interfere with the absorption or utilization of other essential nutrients and really reduce the bioavailability of other important nutrients that the body needs. The three main anti-nutrients that we're going to talk about with pumpkin include oxalates, goitrogens, and phytates. So oxalates bind to calcium and potentially reduce its absorption. While the levels are fairly low in pumpkin, it is something to be mindful of, especially if your companion has a history of urinary-based conditions such as kidney disease or the formation of calcium oxalate stones. It can also contribute to gut irritation and sensitivity, especially those that are very sensitive to oxalates. A lot of gastrointestinal symptoms such as bloating, abdominal pain, or diarrhea can be seen. And this can also very highly affect those with leaky gut syndrome. So we definitely want to be aware of our companions that do suffer from these issues. Phytates can bind to minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium, which can also potentially reduce their bioavailability and make them less available for the animal to use during digestion. And this is very common for pets that are on any kind of plant-based diets. We also have goitrogens. Again, these are not found in large amounts in pumpkin. However, it is very important to be aware of, especially with those with thyroid conditions, because it can interfere with the uptake of iodine. And this obviously is quite a concern because nowadays we are seeing a lot more cats and dogs having issues with their thyroid. So these are very important things to be aware of if you're going to feed pumpkin. Obviously, we have all these issues. So, what is an alternative to using pumpkin for digestive problems such as constipation and loose stool, as well as a fiber source? So, the number one thing is 100% adequate water intake. This softens the stool. It makes it easier to pass through the digestive tract. It's not hard and dry, making it painful and leading to constipation. Water also is super important just in general for overall digestion. It helps break down the food and allows nutrients to be properly absorbed and promote smoother movement of the waste through the digestive tract. It also encourages motility. When you have proper hydration, it stimulates the gut, which helps move the intestines physically that push the stool throughout the digestive system. Dehydration can really slow this process down, and that's when we start seeing issues with constipation. You can also use equal parts of bone broth and egg yolk. Fats in the egg yolk contain natural lubricants that help lubricate the digestive tract and make it easier for the stool to pass through it. And the fats often help soften up the stool as well, which can relieve the constipation. There's also nutrients in bone broth and egg yolk that provide lots of vital nutrients, collagen, gelatin, essential vitamins, and minerals. So this can help soothe and heal the digestive tract as well, increasing healthy digestion and motility. We can also look at probiotics, prebiotics, and digestive enzymes. Kefir is a wonderful probiotic. It is naturally fermented milk using something called kefir grains. These actually aren't grains per se, but they are microbes that consume the lactose and help create proper nutrients for the digestive tract to help move stuff along and break down nutrients more easily. Now, in regards to fiber, one of the best sources is going to be fur and feathers. This is indigestible material, largely composed of keratin and fibrous protein. It's not easily digested by carnivores, but the material acts as a dietary fiber to bulk up the stool and promote regular bowel movements. So this can be very important for those with loose stool. It also stimulates the digestive tract. The physical texture of the fur and the fiber stimulates the gut lining and encourages the natural muscle contractions that help move the food along the digestive tract. It also is a natural cleanser, so it can help sweep through the digestive tract and aid in removing any unnecessary waste, hairballs, and even worms, parasites. So it's important to include either whole prey in the diet, or there are supplements out there that have a ground mixture of feathers, pumpkin seed, and other fibers to help provide that natural fiber source to your companions. Now, speaking of a dewormer, a fun fact that you may not have known is that the seeds from pumpkin, when fresh ground and fed unsalted and raw, is actually a natural dewormer. It contains something called curcubitin, which it paralyzes the worms in the digestive tract so they can actually be naturally expelled from the body. So this is a wonderful replacement for those chemical deworming products. So pumpkin seed, who knew? Well, that concludes our first episode of the Carnivore Connection. Subscribe so that you can see more episodes, and we will see you back for episode number 2.